Stephen Howson, Full-Time Devils. This is the UEFA Champions League round of 16 draw. We're going to find out which opponents Manchester United are going to be facing and probably getting eliminated by in the next round of the Champions League. Thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to give the video a like if you're absolutely depressed from what happened yesterday. But you know what? That was yesterday. Today's a new day. It's Monday. And we're pretending that it didn't happen. All right? So if you would like to get on to pretend that shit didn't happen, that's what we're doing today. So anyway, we are sponsored today by our friends at Kwiff, and we have got a competition winner for you guys. So this weekend we ran a competition thanks to our friends at Kwiff, the only sports betting app where you could get your bet supercharged. The prize was 2 tickets to see United in the Champions League last 16, first leg game at Old Trafford, or second leg, depends on which way it's going to go around. With the winner being the person who sent us the highest percentage Kwiff bet. I can now reveal that the winner is, drumroll please, Leanne. So Leanne, she had a bet on Jesse Lingard, which was an anytime goal scorer for 21-4, and that got Kwiff to a massive 21-1. So as well as getting a payout of £110 for a £5 stake, Leanne has now got 2 tickets to see United, and we are about to find out who Leanne is going to go watch in that round of 16 game. We have got possible opponents of Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, Paris Saint-Germain, Barcelona, Real Madrid and Porto. So nothing to fear here. Basically just the who's of recent Champions League winners. Not a problem for us, clearly. Anyway, that's who we're facing. We've got Liverpool coming up at the weekend. Can I get the comments on the screen? Can we do that? We're going to be reading out some of your comments as well and seeing what you guys are saying. Ollie says, am I doing the full-time review today? Yes, we will be doing full-time review. And we'll be doing it once we've found out who's going to beat us in the next round of the Champions League. Let's bury our head in the sand for a little while, says Ronan. That's exactly what we're doing. Joining at 6 a.m. from Washington, D.C. Well, hello there, Moon56. We got to be positive, says Eman. Do we have to be positive? Can we not be realistic? McClellan says, give us a dab and the Glazers will leave. You are fake news, my friend. Dortmund are good. I think someone just collapsed next door. We have got some serious teams, haven't we? Like, I'm going to get to you guys. Give me a reason you want to draw someone. And don't just say Porto because theoretically they're the worst team in it. Porto have won the last 6 of their 6 games. So who do you guys want to get in this draw? For me, if I had to say who do I want Barcelona. I want Barcelona or I want Paris. Do I think we're going to beat them? Absolutely not. But I don't know if we're going to beat anybody in that list. And there's the teams I would like to come and see play at Old Trafford, to be honest. Won't mind Real Madrid. I think the form Real Madrid are in, they might be able to be got at. But can I sit here and tell you that I think we'll beat them? No. They're in a team on that list that I think we can beat. Realistically. I mean, yes, we can, of course, shithouse our way to getting a result. But no way do you just look at them and go, oh, we'll beat them. Sad times at Old Trafford, ladies and gents. Give us Madrid, says Unique Cosmo. Real Madrid, says Larry. Barcelona, says Lee. Dortmund aren't good 24/7. Dortmund are currently absolutely smoking the Bundesliga, so pretty good. I want to get PSG just for a good match, says Kareem. Interesting, we've never faced PSG. So out of all of those, it's someone different for us to play, so that would be all right, wouldn't it? Bayern Munich says, my name is Jeff. We can't beat anyone, says Rupak. I'd laugh, but, you know, whatever. Take anyone, says Jack. We're not going to be in it next year, so might as well go all out against a big team. Yeah, I mean, let's get serious here for 3 seconds. We are literally looking at trying to win the thing to be in it next year. And if I had £1 for every time someone was like, why don't we just win the Champions League? Like, oh shit, like we've never thought of that in the past. Like, we've not been trying for our entire existence to win the Champions League. We've got 3 of them. Come on, son. Kieran says, I must be the only Tottenham supporter in here. It's pretty likely, I would say. So we've got all the pomp and ceremony going on the screen at the moment. They absolutely milk it. They really, really, really milk it. They could literally just be like, here's the draw, couldn't they? But no, they don't do that. They really milk it. And they go into all sorts of garbage about it, telling you who's doing the draw and all that kind of caper. Surav says, I'll take anyone, I just can't be asked for this team. Hello from India, I started to follow United. Please explain to me What is the problem at our club? As everyone says, it's not only Jose Mourinho. Of course it's not only Jose Mourinho. Some of the players aren't good enough. Jose is a major factor in that. But it's also the lack of direction and the lack of intelligent recruitment from the board. And it's also the intrusion of the board into the recruiting process. When you bring in Jose Mourinho, you give him everything he wants. You give him a bucket load of cash and he brings you back a title, a nice shiny Premier League trophy. That's what happens when you give Jose Mourinho what he wants. If you bring Jose Mourinho in and ask him to act like any other manager, most managers, where you kind of have to develop a bit of a youth, maybe G up a couple of players, put an arm around someone, it's not his game. You know, if you look at the track record of the guy, that's not what he does. What he does do is he becomes a hyper-successful manager that often burns his players out. Now, we've seen the burnout without the hyper-success at United. We've seen some relative success. We saw the highest finished post for Alex. We saw him with a brilliant win percentage into the 60% at one point. But we've not been able to really get that siege mentality that Jose likes to foster. We've not really been able to do anything like that. For this morning, I watched one of my videos when I was talking about the fact that Louis van Gaal might be going and Jose was coming in. It was around about this time in that last Louis van Gaal season. And really interestingly, it was when you bring Jose Mourinho in, here's what you need to do. And at the time I was saying, if we don't bring Jose Mourinho in, and if we have to get a third season with Louis van Gaal, I'd be up for that, but we need to improve the defence, we need a midfielder, and we need a right winger. 2 years down the line, nearly 3 years down the line, we still need a defender, we arguably still need a midfielder, and we arguably still need a right winger. If I can see that, and I'm just some knobhead on YouTube, why can't some of these high professional recruitment analysts and people like that at Manchester United see that? It's a joke. Ronan says, with the exception of Porto, we're the draw everyone wants, just for the sake of we deserve a big Champions League game. Let's get Barca and watch Jones versus Messi. Oh my God. Nazir says, let's United face France. They will be out. What? France aren't in the draw, mate. Sorry. Why has Smalling been given a new contract? He's not performed well enough to warrant one. Andy, I think fundamentally the problem that we've got here is that United at the moment have got no leadership. United's policy at the moment is everybody gets a new contract because they don't ever want to see people leave. But a consequence of that is Manchester United have got the highest wage bill in England because we don't let people leave when their time is up. We give contracts to people in their 30s that aren't going to turn it around. I don't like to pick on a guy. I do like to pick on a guy. Ashley Young is one of those that, why is this guy getting a new contract extension? He's not good enough to play for Manchester United. He should be patted on the back, thanked for his service, and replaced. That's what a good, sensible football team does, but we get these players in, they're hanging around on enormous contracts. Because they're on enormous contracts, there's outside pressures. People think that when Jose Mourinho sits down to write his team, he's got 11 spaces to write whatever team he wants. Well, there's outside pressures. There's pressures from the board. I think Tony Marshall recently has been playing, not because he's Jose Mourinho's favourite thing. I actually really don't think he's Jose Mourinho's favourite thing. But because he could walk out of the door for free and cost United tens of millions, if not nearly 100 million in a transfer fee, he's been told to play him. And I often wonder how much of that team sheet has been filled in before Jose gets to pick it. It felt like Alexis Sanchez couldn't be dropped at any stage, didn't it? Chris says, director of football can't make anything worse. A director of football is absolutely needed, mate. Absolutely needed. In fact, the thing that I think that we need. We would like Messi at Old Trafford, says Tariq. Let's just get the big boys and be done with it before we're embarrassed further. We need to reset for the season. Vendant says, current state of Manchester United in one sentence. Ashley Young is the captain of Manchester United. Nailed it, my friend. Young gifted Poole their first goal. No, I think that's a bit unfair. You know, I like to bang on a guy, but a defender rushing in to try and block a challenge, it's unlucky. The same with Bayer. It's unlucky that he gets a deflection off him and goes in. It could just have easily got a deflection and gone wide, couldn't it? So I think that's a little bit unfair, mate. Let's be sensible in ripping into Ashley Young, please, for a second. Saz says, I bet Jose wants Porto and Ed wants Barcelona. Awairil says, Alexis' arrival and Rui Faria's departure killed us. I've been sort of theorising for the whole season, essentially, what was Rui Faria's involvement, and I think that you could argue a lot of the defensive aspect of the game was probably on Rui Faria. Him and Jose have been a partnership for nearly 20 years. Jose seen as this very good defensive manager, but how much of that is actually Jose and how much of that was Rui Faria, we don't know, and you're probably never going to know. But I think a lot of it you can say was probably down to Rui Faria and the way we've seen him, the way we've seen United since his departure. We've now conceded more goals this season than we did in the whole of last season in the league, and we're not even halfway through yet. That's shocking. That is absolutely shocking, and that alone tells you that the attack's not too far off Liverpool and Spurs. It's not terrible. We're scoring goals, but defensively we're horrendous. So they've started the draw at the moment. Remember, we're not seeded after coming second in the group and failing to win it. Manchester City have just been pulled out. I'm not sure if they came out first. I think they might have just drawn Schalke. Yeah, so City are through to the next round. Schalke have got Manchester City. Next team out. I like the little balls that they have, that they keep their names in. Pretty cool. Club Atletico de Madrid have just been pulled out of the hat. It's one of the teams that we can't get. Let's see who they can get. They can get Bayern, Juve, Porto or Paris. That's where the final is this year, isn't it? I think. That's where the final is, isn't it? Atletico's new stadium. The Ashley Unger agenda is strong with this one. Just call it how I see it. The guy's garbage. Angelino Red, I think the comment was about the first goal. Young was meant to mark Mane, but got caught off. I think both of them ended up rushing out. Juventus have drawn Atletico. That's a great game. Oh, yeah. The first goal as it comes across. Yeah, I mean, you can argue it was him. He's not paying attention, but this is what you get when you play a winger who's not got those natural defensive tendencies. There's a guy that works hard, he's got good agility, and that's around it. Here we go. Manchester United have just been pulled out. This is the moment we're all waiting for. Who is going to knock United out of this year's Champions League? He's got Dortmund, he's got basically everyone still available, bar Juventus, which wasn't a team we could draw anyway, because obviously we faced them in the group stage. Let's see who United are getting. We have got Bayern, Dortmund, Paris, Barcelona, Porto and Real Madrid. My money's on Barcelona or Paris. Here we go. Let's find out who we have got. He's undoing the ball. Paris Saint-Germain. Whoa, baby. All right, that was nice knowing everybody. We get to see Mbappe, we get to see Neymar, and we get to see Cavani run riot at Old Trafford. What is your reaction to that, everybody? Paris Saint-Germain, it was one of the teams that we thought it could be. I thought it was going to be them or Barcelona. It is who we've got. Let's see what you guys are saying. No previous meetings with Paris. So that's one for the record books, I think. Mourinho's old club Porto would have been hilarious, says RM. Loads of people just commenting PSG in the comments. Yep, there we go. The games that are going to be played on the 20th. Oh my God. 12th, 13th, 19th and 20th of Feb will be the first leg. As soon as we know those dates, we will let you know. They have to arrange when United are going to play, when City are going to play, and they have to, all of these different, obviously with Madrid having two teams in there, they have to mix these all up. And then the second leg is the 5th, 6th, 12th and 13th of March. So we are still in the Champions League till March. Worst case scenario. How do you see this going? Phil Jones against Neymar, Ashley Young against Neymar. Clash of the Titans is what you're thinking, isn't it? We will get knocked out straight away, says Ryan. I don't think anyone's saying anything else. Am I going to the game? I'm going to the home game. The away game's not too bad actually to get to, is it, Paris? Before our incredible comeback in Turin. James from Whitley Bay. All right, okay. PSG equals Farmers League. Well, some of them farmers are pretty good. I mean, you need to go and watch Leon if you think it's a Farmers League. Phenomenal side at the moment. We're going to show Neymar why he needs to join us. Does this mean my bet of United win the Champions League looks over? Absolutely not, mate. But if you would like to win tons of cash on United winning the Champions League, maybe don't bet it on United to win the Champions League. And if you do want to bet on them, the odds are going to be pretty steep against us at the moment, aren't they? Dalot versus Mbappe, I like the sound of that. I don't. Corinthians in Brazil and United in England, says someone. I don't know what that means. Young to pocket Mbappe, calling it here. Don't know about that. Best attack versus the worst defence. Before our incredible comeback in Turin, James from Whitley Bay stuck a tenner on United to win both teams to score. He got Kwiff from 9-1 to 55-1 and was paid out 560 quid instead of 100 quid. If you would like to get Kwiff, make sure to download the link to the app in the description below. Mason Greenwood versus Thiago Silva. Do you reckon? I wonder. Jose's going to go all out. You might actually see some young players brought in now because I think Jose's about to absolutely phone the league in. Real Madrid have just been pulled out. I'm not sure. That'll be the second, won't it? No, that'll be the first. So they're going to draw. There's not many teams left for them to get. Oh, they've got Ajax. They've already been drawn. Here we go. Liverpool just been pulled out. Let's see who they get. David says, how sad is it that we're already saying we're beaten before a ball's been kicked? That said, no one with a sound mind should put money on us to go through. There you go. Bayern Munich against Liverpool. There you go. That's who they've got. I got 40-1 on a £15 win, says Razwana. Wow. Cash out. More excited about Ajax and Real Madrid right now. Ajax won 8-0 this weekend with Daley Blind scoring a hat-trick. Can you believe that? We've had a look at Frenkie de Jong and De Ligt, and someone at United was like, no, I don't fancy them. We'll keep Chris Smalling. And I imagine Chris Smalling's probably on close to 10 times what De Ligt earns. What is all that about? And as for Gaz calling him a prospect and McCullough calling him a prospect, this is a guy who's a captain of Ajax at 19. He's not a prospect. He's been playing first team for nearly 3 years at the moment. He's a player, not a prospect. It's not someone like Mason Greenwood who hasn't played in the first team. You don't know what you're going to get and you're thinking, oh, I wonder how good he is. De Ligt is a serious footballer. Liverpool aren't beating Bayern, says Mohammed. I mean, I'm not going to talk about Liverpool after what they did to us yesterday. I think they look fantastic, and terrifyingly, I think City as favourites to go on and win the Champions League and Liverpool as favourites to win the Premier League just makes it the most horrendous year that we could possibly have on the 20th anniversary of the treble. United will win, trust me. I don't trust you. If Pogba is still here, then he has to play. It's a big if, isn't it? And he wouldn't be cup-tied if he did join somewhere. What if he joined Paris in January? Could see it happening. Governor Bandicoot, Pogba will either be on a bench for us or cup-tied for PSG. Cup-tied doesn't exist anymore in the Champions League. You can just move and be happy days. Will Di Maria get a good reception? Not from me, he won't. Formation against PSG, 10 at the back. Yeah, I can go with that. Our whole club needs to be changed, the squad, manager and the owners. Good luck with that. If you've got 4 billion, then give me a call. 1, we'll have a night out, and 2, you can come and buy United. PSG is a reasonable opponent. I don't know what you mean by reasonable. The transfer strategy is just buying Ajax. It's not a bad one. And I wish we had done, to be honest. There have been some serious. Manchester United against Paris Saint-Germain is a hell of a tie. It's unfortunately not one that I see United winning, but we can but hope. We turn up at the stadium with our hearts full of hope. We sing up, we listen to the Champions League music, we sing along with it, and we hope that we can get the job done. I didn't think that we'd be able to beat Juventus away. What was it, 1-0 at home? We'd have gone through on aggregate against Juventus with that kind of performance. So, who knows? Have a little bit of faith. Maybe we can get the thing done, and maybe this is our year after all, but I won't be putting any money on it. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back very soon with full-time review, so make sure to tune into that, where we're going to have a proper moan about what happened this weekend. See you in a bit.